Charles Lucky Luciano wasn't born into power. He earned it in the shadows of New York's criminal underworld. He was smart, calm under pressure, and unlike the old bosses, he didn't cling to Sicilian traditions like sacred relics. To Luciano, the Mafia wasn't about pride or family feuds. It was about business, about control, about creating something that would outlive the men who built it. While others fought over corners and grudges, Luciano was studying how to take it all. He started by making alliances that would have been unthinkable to the old guard, deals with Jewish gangsters like Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel, and Irish crews with deep roots in the unions. He didn't care about bloodlines or old rivalries. He cared about profit and survival. But standing in his way was his own boss, Giuseppe "Joe the Boss" Masiria, a relic of the old world, who ruled with fear and superstition. Masiria saw danger in Luciano's vision and tried to keep him on a short leash. But Luciano had already started making quiet moves of his own. And across the city, another powerful don was rising, Salvatore Maranzano, a Sicilian from Castellammarese del Golfo, who believed he was destined to rule them all. What followed was one of the bloodiest power struggles in Mafia history, the Castellammarese War. For months, the streets ran red with blood as Masiria's men and Maranzano's loyalists waged war in alleyways, restaurants, and funeral homes. It was chaos, and for most, it looked like the end of the Mafia. But for Luciano, it was an opportunity. He played both sides, earning trust from both Masiria and Maranzano, all while plotting something far bigger than either of them imagined. Then, in 1931, Luciano made his move. He arranged a meeting with Masiria at a quiet restaurant in Brooklyn, shared a final hand of cards, then stepped away just before the gunman walked in. Masiria was gunned down mid-meal, cards in one hand, blood on the table, and the last breath of the old Mafia dying with him. With Masiria gone, Maranzano declared himself boss of bosses, the supreme ruler of the American Mafia. He tried to bring order, dividing New York into families and creating structure, but he made one fatal mistake. He underestimated Lucky Luciano. Maranzano still clung to the old ways, the Sicilian codes, the fear, the paranoia, and saw Luciano as a threat that needed to be eliminated. But Luciano struck first. Just weeks after Masiria's death, Maranzano was murdered in his own office, stabbed and shot by men disguised as federal agents. With both of the old bosses gone, Luciano finally had the power to shape the Mafia in his image. And what he built was nothing short of revolutionary. He abolished the title Boss of Bosses, knowing it only bred jealousy, betrayal, and war. Instead, he created the Commission, a council of the most powerful families, designed to settle disputes and divide power equally. It was a criminal board of directors, where blood feuds were replaced by business meetings, and decisions were made with votes, not bullets. Luciano divided New York into 5 families, each with its own territory, structure, and leadership. The Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese, Colombo, and Bonanno families were born, names that would define American organized crime for the next 100 years. Each family had a boss, an underboss, a consigliere, and ranks of loyal capos and soldiers. They ran gambling, racketeering, labor unions, narcotics, and political influence, not as separate gangs, but as one silent empire. The Mafia had become a machine, organized, ruthless, and invisible to the average citizen. Luciano had done what no one before him could. He turned chaos into order, blood into business, and violence into power. But peace in the Mafia was never permanent. Beneath the surface, rivalries still burned, greed still festered, and the streets still whispered. Luciano had built an empire, but in the underworld, even empires don't last forever.